As many of you may recall, back at the end of September, there were a whole bunch of small tremblers down by the Salton Sea in the southeastern area of California near the Arizona border. We didn't feel them up here, but they did serve as a reminder that we live in earthquake country. So the real question is, are you prepared? And the answer is on the next slide. Do you have a plan, especially for contacting your loved ones? Do you have an agreed cell phone number to call, or as a backup, an agreed landline if the cell phones aren't working? Do you have an agreed place to meet or places to meet? And do you have basic emergency supplies at home and in your car? So next slide, please. Rule 1, I think, is basic. Stay calm. Get out of the building you're in if you're able to do that. And if you're able, get your car out of your garage. If you have an electric garage door opener and the power is out and you don't have a battery backup for it, know how to release the latch and manually raise the door. And for basic supplies, you really need 1 gallon of water per day, and it's recommended that you have at least 3 days worth of water. Food, you should have 3 days of non-perishable food. A battery-powered radio, or consider a hand-cranked radio. Flashlights, the LED type, are the best these days, and they don't use much battery power. First aid kit with instructions. Your essential medications that are on prescription or whatever, and probably $200 to $300 in cash. Also consider having a wrench or pliers to turn off your utilities, especially the gas. Blankets or sleeping bags, pet supplies if applicable. A change of clothing, at least a long sleeve shirt, long pants, and sturdy shoes. And chlorine bleach and an eyedropper in case the water supply gets contaminated. And paper and pencil or pen. So the basic rule is remember to stay calm. And hopefully you won't need to.
Thank you, Tony. Our next report will be on education, given by Commissioner Gorback to my right.
Thank you very much. Okay, there's a couple things I'd like to bring to your attention this month, and the first is in today's Ventura County Star, written by Betty Berry, who is going to be our esteemed guest speaker today. And she is telling us about some classes that are being held through the Osher Lifelong Learning Center, which is operated out of Cal State Channel Islands, and they are going to be single session classes. So for those of you who may not want to commit to a 6-week or 8-week course, these are single sessions coming up, which I think is very cool. So one of them coming up, let's see, is going to be on November 12th, called The Art of Leadership. And then there's this one I really like. This one's coming up on November 16th, and it's going to be held in Ventura, and it's called Is There a Planetary Home for Extraterrestrials? And I say yes, but this is where we can find out about this. This is so interesting. And then here's one coming up that's called Through Barbed Wire, World War II and the Japanese-American Experience. So if you would like to read about this a little more, you can check out today's Ventura County Star, either the hard copy or online. It's on Section B, page 2, Classes Workshops is the headline. And then secondly, last year this time, I talked to you about the opportunity to audit classes at CLU, and this is an amazing opportunity. If any of you have done this, please let me know how your experience was. And I'd like to remind you again that seniors may audit classes, and it's a very simple thing to do. You simply go online and find, and I did it this morning to be sure it was still there, find what they call the Senior Citizen Audit Form. It's very short with your name, address, phone number, emergency contact. And then at the bottom, it's asking for the approval of the professor whose class you would like to audit. And remember, audit means that you're taking the course without any expectation of a grade or doing homework. And it's a great I mean, this is a major university that's offering this. If you have any other questions about this, be sure to contact the registrar's office at CLU. I talked to them this morning because I couldn't find the spring 17 schedule of classes yet online. However, they told me just this morning it's hot off the press, and you can get a hard copy in the registrar's office at CLU. And you need to plan this. You need to do this in advance. So check it out. The spring semester usually begins around the middle of January. But since this requires the signature of the professor, you need to find that person and have a little meeting just to be sure the class you would like to audit is going to meet your needs and is appropriate for you, and also to be sure that the professor feels there will be room in the class for you to audit. So really hope you take advantage of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Karen. That was very informative. I have taken a couple of those classes at the OLLI classes, and they are really wonderful. They are just, you learn an awful lot in a reasonably short period of time, so it's certainly worth trying. Our next Commissioner report will be given by Commissioner Hagee on fraud.
Fraud, look out, watch out. You know, seniors are a big target, and this time of year, the holidays are coming, and then all the charities, both legal and illegal, are going to be out there soliciting because they know that this time of year, everybody's more willing to give, and seniors are more willing to give. So our next meeting, December 7th, we have Deputy Tim Lohman, who's in charge of all of the fraud and scams in Thousand Oaks, Newbury Park area. He handles all the investigations and everything. So he will be here. He will be right up there, and as a great presentation. In the meantime, my colleagues felt that might be a little late for some people, because I know some seniors are over anxious to start buying right now for their grandkids and great grandkids. And so he's going to be talking about checking charities with the Better Business Bureau is one thing. You go to the Better Business Bureau website and find out which charities are actually legitimate. And the purchases online with extreme caution. I read this article in a paper I'm going to share with you. There are two people who spent $1,000 at CVS to buy the gift cards, which are so convenient because you don't have to go out shopping. You can just put them in the mail to your kids in New York or in Michigan, and it's easy, very easy. But be careful. These two people spent $1,000 at CVS on cards, and they were totally worthless. How can that happen, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Okay, I'll get to that in a minute. About 57% more than 6 years ago has been spent on these cards. $650 billion. Billion with a B. Gift card scams are more common than most people think. A common racket for a scammer to write down gift card numbers or even scan the magnetic strips before you even buy them while they're in the store. And those big racks, they go in there and they scan them, or they just open it up a little bit and write down the numbers. And then they go and spend the money. So you buy a card that's already been used. Okay, I'm not going to go through all the details because it just take too long, but what you can do when you go in the store is look to be sure that the number on that card is hidden, it's covered up, and it hasn't been peeled back or it hasn't been tampered with. Or sometimes they're right in the open. So you want to get a gift card, get one that number is covered up. And after you check it out at the cashier, ask them if they will scan it to see that money is actually in there. And that's about all you can do. Now, if they scan it and the money's there, you can go home. And when you send it to somebody or give it as a present, tell them to use it as soon as possible, because these scammers have all these numbers and they wait until it hits the cash register and it's actually been bought and purchased. Then they go out and they start spending that money. So these poor people, they went through all kinds of ways in which they went to CVS, they went to Nordstrom's, no good, sorry, we can't help you. And finally the newspaper is in the process now of trying to get their money back for them. So please be careful, tell your friends, and come and see Deputy Tim Lohman and listen to some of the other ways that he has for you to protect yourself on these scams. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ron. Our next and last Commissioner report will be on social services, offered here today by Commissioner Maria.
Thank you, Nancy. So, and turn it on too. I just nobody heard me. Okay, I'm going to start all over again. So I wanted to pick, with the holidays coming up, I wanted to come up with something we could talk about where people that are looking to give back to the community can look at this as an opportunity, and people that may need some help during the stressful holiday times may find some opportunities here. This is a legitimate nonprofit organization, and it's called Food Share. It's Ventura County's food bank. It started 32 years ago in a family's garage, and it's now housed in 29,000 square feet of warehousing. It's serving 75,000 people in the Ventura County area, and it's distributing millions of pounds of food each year. This is a year-round organization. The website is www.foodshare.org. And if you're looking to find out ways that you can help, this organization certainly will take monetary donations. You can donate directly to them or several partner organizations that you'll find on the website. For every $1 that you donate, it's almost 3 meals, 2.8 meals. You can donate food or produce, and again, I'd encourage you to go to the website and look for ways to do that. And you can also donate time. They need event coordinators. They need people to help with fundraising. They've got these giant warehouses. They need people to help sort and pack food. And there's many more. There's a huge list of opportunities. So if you're looking for ways to give back, this is a good way you can help. And then maybe you need some help yourself. And this is how Food Share can help you. There's several programs that they're involved in, and I'm just highlighting a couple that are targeting seniors. There's a senior nutrition program where basically you're getting home-delivered frozen prepared meals to homebound seniors, and that's provided with their partner Thousand Oaks Meal on Wheels. And they can be reached. Their telephone number is 805-496-2009. And the other program they have that's directed towards seniors is called Senior Share, and that helps provide supplemental groceries for people with lower incomes. And you can get to that again by going to their website, www.foodshare.com, and you can look for the senior programs and see what's available. So it's a great opportunity with the holidays coming up, and I'd ask everybody to go out and visit the website. And that's it.
Okay, now it's time to move on to our liaison reports. And our first report from the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging will be Vice Chair Healy.
Thank you, Nick. One of the biggest things that happens to seniors that cause us to end up in any kind of a care facilities is having a fall. And I'm great with falls. I've got scars all over to indicate how well I fall. So some things that are very important. Ventura County Area Agency on Aging sees this as the problem. It's going to a few statistics. 1 out of every 3 older adults age 65 and older fall each year, but less than half of them talk to their doctor about it. It's embarrassing. It was embarrassing every time I did it. Every half an hour, and this is really a frightening thing, an older adult dies as the result of a fall. It is a true serious matter. Most falls don't occur out on the street somewhere in a high-risk area. They occur in your own home, sometimes when you're by yourself. Some of the people who are the highest risk factors are people who are over 65, people who have poor balance and lack of strength, taking 5 or more prescription medications a day, vision impairments, and environmental hazards in your own home. So the things that they basically suggest is remove tripping hazards. Don't leave something on the floor. I fell over a pillow about 2 months ago. I mean, how can you fall on a pillow? If you need home modifications, do it. Use non-slip mats in your tub or shower. Don't have throw rugs. I have them all over my house. And every time my kids come out, they go, get rid of the throw rugs. Keep clutter down. It's just so easy not to step carefully when you think you will and fall. Have enough light so that you're not, turn on a light at night if you get up to, for any reason, have a light on so you can see. Stay physically healthy. Exercise. Review medications. Make sure that your medications are right for you personally. Have your vision checked. Keep your family and friends informed. If something were to happen to you, and I live alone, if something happens to me, would somebody notice that maybe I had fallen? Because that is something that happens to people. Anyhow, the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging provides a wonderful assortment of programs, especially for seniors. And they have a fall prevention program that can help you with the home safety, with giving you information. Would they do workshops? They can advocate for you. It's all funded by the County of Ventura. They change the schedules all the time. They offer classes all over the county, numbers of times here at Goebel, but there's a phone number you can call, and it's the Ventura County Area Agency on Aging. All of their programs are at no charge. It's 805-477-7343, or you can simply email them at fall.prevention.program@ventura.org, and they will send you the stuff. Just being conscious of the fact of being aware, paying attention to what you're doing can make the difference in whether you stand upright or end up not standing upright. Thanks very much. Please, again, that phone number at Ventura County Area Agency on Aging is 805-477-7343. It's worth the call.
Thank you, Nancy, for this helpful do as I say, not as I do report. And I'd like to call on you again for a report from the Conejo Senior Volunteer Program. Okay.
We have liaisons to all of the local agencies that work with seniors here, and I happen to be this year the liaison to the Conejo Senior Volunteer Program that's run out of Goebel by Rick Tanaka. Rick could not be with us today, so he sent me all the stuff he wants me to advise everybody about. The third annual Wellness Fest, I don't know how many people went last year, is going to be on January 18th, 2017 from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it should be really a good event. The current confirmed sponsors include Atria Senior Living and Home Helpers, with additional support from the Rego Medical Group. Please contact the CSVP office for more information on this event, or if you would like to or know somebody who would like to be a vendor at this event. And I will give you the number when we finish the programs. But it's the Wellness Fest, January 18th, coming up. There are always new volunteer opportunities at Caneo Senior Volunteer Program. There's something for everybody. A couple of the newer opportunities include volunteering with the Disaster Assistance Response Team, or DART, or volunteering as a tax preparer to provide services for seniors and low-income houses. Please contact again the CSVP office, and I will give you that number at the end. I know a number of people who do the tax thing, and they truly get a huge amount out of it every year. It's a really feel-good thing for them. The Caneo Senior Volunteer Program Boutique Holiday Sale is also coming up. It started on Monday, and things are moving fast. The boutique is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's right at the Goebel Center. Anybody can direct you once you get there. Right now, they have a lot of gift items, holiday items, beautifully handmade specialty items, and the 50-cent greeting cards. Proceeds from this boutique help fund Lifeline services for local seniors in need and other programs. The Lifeline, the Life Alert buttons that are so important, and sometimes they're unaffordable. For more information on the Wellness Fest, new volunteer opportunities, or the boutique, the phone number is 805-381-2742. And that it's the best place on earth. If you're looking for a good place to volunteer, no matter if you want 1 day a week, 1 hour a day, whatever you want, go over and talk to Rick Tanaka. He will find something that you will feel good about. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we have a report on the Global Adult Community Center by Commissioner Norkin.
Thank you, Nick. Since Patty can't be here today, I'll take her place. She wants me to announce that there's a health screening for glucose, blood pressure, and bone density on Thursday, November 17th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Clínicas de Camino Real will be providing free health screenings for glucose, blood pressure, and bone density, as well as information on additional services. Clinical staff advise all the participants to eat 2 hours before screening, or fast if possible. Call 805-381-2744 for reservations. On Friday, November 11th, at 8 a.m., there will be a Veterans Day breakfast and USO show. In honor of the senior veterans, the Global Center is celebrating Veterans Day with a free broadcast and USO show. Entertainment includes Unforgettable big bands, singer Sienna Avia and Catherine Reeves, juggler Christopher Yates, and Caneo Valley Cloggers. Impersonator Mike Sherman and MC Jim Searden will be there. Join us in this special commemoration. Pick up tickets today at the Global Front Desk. Space is limited to 200 guests, and there is a 4-ticket person limit. Doors will open at 7:30 a.m., breakfast at 8 a.m., and the USO show to follow. And then on Thursday, December 1st at 9 a.m., there will be a breakfast at Tiffany's Tea Time. Ladies and gentlemen 50 plus are invited to celebrate a breakfast at Tiffany's themed tea party. Participants will enjoy tea samplings, tiny tea sandwiches, and fabulous company. Dressed in your most classy Holly-go-lightly attire. Purchase tickets today at Global Front Desk. It's $5 per person, and limited tickets are available. And I also would like to announce that the Global Senior Center Commission is going to present Music Comes Alive, the British Beat, on Sunday, November 20th from 2 to 3:30. The doors will open at 1:30 p.m., and it's $5 per person, and you can purchase your tickets at the front desk beginning on October 26th. And on Saturday, December 3rd, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., there will be a holiday craft bazaar. Get an early start on your holiday shopping. Come browse over 30 crafts vendors offering high-quality, handcrafted gift items at the Global Adult Community Center Indoor Craft Bazaar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Norkin. We now come to that part of the program you've all been waiting for. That's right, Commissioner comments. Are there any Commissioner comments today? Yes, Commissioner Korbach.
Thank you very much. Last month, I spoke about the book titled Grandma Gatewood's Walk, the inspiring story of the woman who saved the Appalachian Trail. Grandma Gatewood's Walk was this year's selection for the program Thousand Oaks Reads. And I'd like to remind everyone that the author of the book, Ben Montgomery, is going to be speaking about writing that book at this Sunday, November 6th, 3 p.m. at the Fred Cavalier Theater here at the Civic Arts Plaza. Tickets are still available, but they're going fast. You can pick your free tickets up at either the Thousand Oaks Library or the Newbury Park Library. So, especially if you read the book, it's always great to go talk to the author. And if you didn't, I'm sure you can still check one out at the library or pick one up at a store. And it really is a fascinating read. And then speaking of books and authors, I am going to be participating in a local authors fair on Sunday, November 13th at the Camarillo Library, along with 30 other local authors. So if you have a favorite local author and you'd like to meet him or her and have him or her sign a book, we're all going to be there. It's a free event, unless you'd like to purchase a book, of course, and that is again at the Camarillo Library Community Room from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. Sunday, November 13th. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Commissioner Gitt?
Thank you, Nick. The Conejo Valley Village is holding a membership drive this afternoon at 4:15 at the Keller Williams offices near the new Target Center. If you're interested, it's at 30,700 Russell Ranch Road, Suite 200, and it starts at 4:15. For those of you that may not have heard of the Village is a nonprofit organization that is whose mission is to try to help seniors stay in their home as long as possible and remain connected in the community. We started our drive in beginning of October, and we've had a number of people come forward both as volunteers and sign up as members. So if you're interested, there's a meeting this afternoon at 4:15 at the Keller Williams offices near Target Center. Thank you, Nick.
Commissioner Healy?
Just a reminder that next Tuesday is Election Day, and it's so important for seniors to vote. There are a lot of us in the world today, and we really should know exactly who we're voting for and go to the polls and vote for the person you feel should be there. And it's really important to also pay attention closely to our local city races and state races, because those are decisions that are made that affect our everyday life, what happens to us every day. So please go out and vote and show them that seniors really do have a big part in how things are run. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I would like to expand a little bit on the fraud report that Commissioner Hagee provided and so forth. My understanding of how this fraud operates is that the gift cards that you see on racks in stores have no money associated with them until somebody purchases a card. So whereas the thieves and so forth go to the racks and copy these numbers down or photograph them or scan them and so forth, they don't immediately go and clean the card out because there's nothing to clean out. They keep the number, and every few days they'll go on a website, which you can have access to if you buy cards, and look up to see how much money is associated with that card. And if they find that somebody has purchased the card and there's now money associated with the card, then they go on a spending spree with that. And they're counting on, most of us when we buy those cards as gifts, that we'll give them to somebody for a birthday or for Christmas, and it'll be sometime in the future, or the person that we give the card to won't immediately start spending the money. They'll put it off for a little while they think about what they want to buy, and so the crook essentially beats them to the money and so forth. And as Commissioner Hagee mentioned, that the best thing we can do to prevent that is be careful what cards we buy. It's sort of helpful to look for racks that are under surveillance and so forth, and not hidden in the back of the store somewhere where somebody can easily fool with the cards without being seen. And you can check online and so forth with the card number and so forth to see whether somebody else is draining your card if you've already purchased one. All right, are there any other commissioner comments? All right, seeing none, I will turn the program over to Commissioner Mortimer to introduce our guest speaker today.
Thank you, Mayor. Betty Berry is a senior advocate for senior concerns. She has served on the Area Agency on Aging's Advisory Council and has been a member of the Financial Abuse Strategic Team. She currently serves on the Conejo Senior Volunteer Program Advisory Board and authors the Senior Advocate column that appears in the Ventura County Star every Wednesday. Please welcome Betty Berry.
Well, we've been doing this for 10 years. I'm here today to talk to you about Medicare 2017. Okay. Our group is smaller today. I think we're finally getting the hang of this after 10 years. We now know how to do it. But things do change and new people come aboard. So we are going to go through the routine that we usually go through to make sure you know what you need to do to be covered for 2017. But before we do that, I have to gather a little information. Do we need to ask questions? Yes. Okay. Is everybody in the room from Thousand Oaks? Okay. I'm going to go down the list of cities then and say, where are you from?
Ventura.
Ventura. Two from Ventura. Anyone else not from Thousand Oaks? Yes, sir. Camarillo. Okay. We need to do this because Charna, who works with me, and I have to go before various committees in the cities that we serve and when it's time for grants and give them certain information about how many people we talk to from their city and so on. So we do the same thing. You got the next one? You got everything else? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, don't giggle when I ask this one, please, but is there anybody in the room under 62? Got a gentleman back there. I got a lady over there. Okay. I don't have anybody up here under 62. I do. Here's one. Welcome to old age. Okay, how many in the room are between 62 and 75? Okay. Okay. And the rest of you, we will assume, are with me over 75. Okay? Now, in order to make sure I answer any questions you may have, which will come after we close the open meeting, I'm going to say how many here in the room, and I have a feeling that those under 62 might answer this, are brand new to Medicare, have never worked with it before? Anybody? Okay. How many have a senior advantage plan? That's an HMO through Medicare. Kaiser, Scan, that kind of thing. Okay. How many have Medicare with a Medigap policy? Okay. We're going to have somebody that has everything. How many have Medicare with a retiree supplement, something that you brought with you from retirement in your company? Anybody? Okay. How many are living dangerously and have only Medicare and nothing else? Oh, good. How many have never signed up for a Medicare Part D prescription drug? But you're on an HMO, and so you have a plan with it.
We're from Canada. We don't understand.
That's okay. The rest are from the United States, and they don't get it either. Okay. Okay. We're going to make sure you're educated by the time you leave. Okay. What HMO are you with? Right. If you have the HMO that has a Part D with it. What have you got? Oh, you're from the federal government. Okay, you're okay. What HMO do you have? Scan. You do have a Part D plan with that. Okay? You are covered for prescriptions. Okay. Have I missed anybody? Is there anybody that has something else besides Harry? That
VA.
You got the VA? You're okay too. Okay. Well, we're going to cover each of those. Now I'm going to go down a list and kind of cover what I'm going to talk about today, just so that we know where we are. First, I'm going to talk about why we're having this meeting, and then I'm just quickly going to go over the parts of Medicare to make sure you understand what you have. Then what open enrollment period is, and why supplemental Medigap insurance is not part of this open enrollment period. Going to mention the OneStop Shops that maybe you have heard about. Going to talk about the Senior Advantage Plans, the HMOs, for 2017. Part D prescription drug plans for 2017. And if you are going to ask for help at a one-stop shop, I will help you fill out the form you need to fill out. Then we're going to talk very briefly about Medicare changes in 2017, and we're guessing at them because the government still has not made up its mind. And we'll talk about Social Security changes, which they have told us, and it is so small that you're going to wink once and you're not going to see it. And then we're going to mention a little about Medicare and You, the book for 2016. Why are we having this meeting? Well, to alert you to the items that you will have to make some changes on or might want to make some changes on. This period of time is open to you from October 15th through December 7th to make changes to your health care plan for 2017. If you don't take action during this period of time, then what you have now is what you will have for the year 2017. If you do take action now to make some changes, then they will become effective January 1st, and you will have new coverage for next year. With few exceptions, you cannot change any time except this time of year. So if you don't like what you have, now's the time to find something you do like. If you're happy with what you have, then you can keep what you have, and let's hope you're still happy with it next year. We don't have all the fine details yet, but we can give you enough to keep you going. Okay, as I stated, the annual open enrollment period started on October 15th, and it runs through December 7th. That's Pearl Harbor Day, in case you forgot. During this time, Medicare beneficiaries have the opportunity to change basic plans, but most important is looking at your prescription drug coverage, Medicare Part D, because this one changes every year. Basically, when you pick the type of coverage you want, you're happy with it and you keep it. But with Medicare Part D for prescription drug coverage, that's a different story. Every year, the insurance companies change. Every year, the formularies that they have change. Every year, the premiums change, and it's always in an upward direction, never a lower direction. But also, every year, you change. You have new conditions, you get better from other conditions, so the drugs that you're taking now may not be the drugs that you're going to be taking in 17. So it's very important that you get yourself aligned with a program that covers your needs at the least expensive price. You can change from original Medicare to a Senior Advantage plan, which is an HMO. If you're not happy with Medicare anymore, you can go to Kaiser, Scan, Anthem Blue, Humana. Is that it? Oh, Kaiser, Secure Horizons, okay? In this part of Ventura, no. Anthem Blue is our coverage here. in this small county, just let me add this, in this small county, and it's a very small county, it's even split in half for senior advantage plans. We have 4 or 5 in this part of the county, but in the western part of the county, they have up to 8. So it depends upon where those companies want to serve. And they serve where they can make the most money. You can change, as I said, from Medicare to a senior advantage plan. Okay, you're on a senior advantage plan. Maybe you're saying, I'm not staying with this group. You can go back to Medicare during this period of time. Or you're on a senior advantage plan, but you think another senior advantage plan would serve you better, so you can change from one senior advantage plan to another. You can go any which way that you want during this 7-week period of time. Changes will be made for 2017, and the choice you make will last for the entire year. There are a few exceptions there, and if you find that during the year you need to make a change, come see either one of us or call HICAP and see them, but get some counseling as to why you're changing and if you can change them. Okay? Now, I mentioned, why doesn't open enrollment include changing your Medigap policy? Now, this is for people, how many have a Medigap policy? Anybody? Yes. Okay. Everybody seems to think that because this is open enrollment, this is the time to change that too, if you want to. Sorry, it is not. If you have a Medigap policy, and for you folks who don't know what I'm talking about, if you have straight Medicare, you really need to have a secondary insurance to cover what Medicare doesn't. We have a group of policies that are called Medigap. They fill the gaps in what Medicare doesn't cover. For that particular kind of coverage, you can change it once a year with no questions asked about your health. And that's important to remember. On your birthday month, looking at your birthday, the day of your birth, and 30 days forward, you can change your Medigap policy with no questions asked about your health. And that's really important because as we get older, we do have problems, and insurance companies can turn you down if they don't like your health because they're going to have to pay for you to go in. You could change it during this period of time if you want to, but I advise not to because very likely you will be hit with questions about your health and you could be denied coverage. So keep in mind, if you have a Medigap policy, kind of mark it on the calendar in your birthday month. If I don't like it, this is the month I need to go see somebody to talk about changing my policy. Okay. That guaranteed right, when you can do it without any questions about your health, is about the most important thing that you really need to know about those policies. Okay, how many of you heard or read about these OneStop Shops that we're having all over? You've seen them advertised in the paper. Well, the Health Insurance Counseling Advocacy Program, which is known as HICAP, because we don't want to say all those big words all the time, out of the Area Agency on Aging, has these one-stop shops scheduled at the various senior centers in Ventura County. They'll be at Goble, they'll be at Simi Valley, they'll be at Camarillo, they'll be in Moore Park. At every city that has a senior center, they will have some of these. At this point in time, when they hold these, they bring in maybe 8, 9, or 10 counselors, and they have them work around the day counseling people on how or what to change. Questions will be answered by these counselors. During the year, these counselors are spread out in the county and do individual one-on-one counseling at the various senior centers. But at this time of year, when there are so many people who want to make changes, they can't possibly get to everybody, so they stop the one-on-one counseling at the senior centers and do these one-stop shops. You will be counseled separately, but you will be there with maybe 100 other people who are also going to be counseled that day. If you need to go to a one-stop shop for help with changing your coverage, I have a form that you can fill out. You can fill it out, send it in. They will call you and make an appointment for you at one of these one-stop shops. The form that you fill out will give them the information on your drugs. They will have done the computer work. They will have the result of that computer work with them, and they will discuss it with you and help you decide which plan gives you the best coverage for the least amount of money. For you people who have a Senior Advantage plan, you don't have to do that, okay? Because yours is all in one package. Simi Valley will be having a one-stop shop on October 20, well, I guess October's gone, isn't it? On November 8th and November 29th. Moore Park is having one tomorrow. And here in Thousand Oaks at the Global Center, there's one scheduled for Monday, November 7th, Monday, November 21st, and Monday, November 30th. 28th? Okay. They're from 9 to 3. If you have a question, you don't want to go to the one-stop shop, you can do your own computer work maybe, but you just have a question, you can call us at the Senior Advocate's Office. Our number is 495-6250, and we will help you with your question and see that you get the right answer. Now, for everybody who has a Senior Advantage plan, luckily this year, our Senior Advantage providers are not leaving town. Quite often, in the past years, we've had as many as 8 providing services for us in this part of the county, and one year I remember we had only 1. And it's very devastating if you have one of these plans and all of a sudden you get a letter in the mail that says, we won't be there next year, and then you have to run around and figure out what to do. If you had a plan in this part of the county in 2016, that plan will be here in 2017. And you have probably gotten something in the mail already. If you haven't, I'm surprised because the mail is coming in fast and furious. But the county, the East County, will have Anthem Blue, Kaiser Permanente, Scan Classic, Humana Gold, and this year, I understand, we have AARP's Secure Horizons. So if you want one of those, take a look, see what they're offering. Also, each one of these companies does have separate seminars that they give locally. So if you are on one of those plans, you might want to keep a look in the paper to see when they may be giving a seminar of their own to hear the details of those plans. But from what I've seen so far this year, there's not a lot of change. As I mentioned before, we've been doing this for 10 years. These Medicare Part D came in 2006. 2006 was a wonderful, or 2005 was a wonderful year trying to get ready for 2006. And each year many changes have occurred, but it seems like over the last 10 years we've kind of settled down and we kind of know how it works now, and it seems much easier, and fewer people are confused, and fewer people are really asking for help. So let's hope it stays that way. Let me get to the next one. What's my next part? Part D. Okay, the insurance companies that cover prescription drugs for Medicare Part D remain basically the same. I believe there are 14 companies who will be offering 24 different plans. So what happens if you go to one of these one-stop shops, or if you come in to see us, or if you do the computer work yourself? It's a computer run. You key in your drugs, the name of the drug, the size of the drug, and how often you take the drug. And what comes out after you've gone through it and reviewed it, you can come up with the 3 plans that are the least expensive and cover you the best. Now, that's as of January 1st. I can't guarantee that the prices will stay the same because Medicare Part D plans, those insurance companies, can give you 60 days notice for an increase in the price or the removal of a drug from the formulary. You do, if that happens, you have some chance to challenge it, and with your doctor can maybe get it resolved. But as of January 1st, you will know where you stand. As far as those of you who have a Senior Advantage plan, it has a Part D plan with it. It is their plan. You cannot buy another plan to replace it if you don't like what they have, because if you buy a separate standalone Part D plan, you have just removed yourself from that health care coverage. That's the way you get out of out of one of those plans. So my advice is, if you are planning on making any change and you have not really researched it yourself, call us. We'll be glad to come and help you and make sure that you get what you need. Okay? Okay. Hold on 1 minute. I got more paper in here than I know what to do with. Okay, is there anybody who is going to need a form? Okay, we're safe. You don't. You don't. You're okay. Okay, everybody else knows what they're going to do and where they're going. Okay. If you change your mind, give us a call because we have them. Okay, you should be during the next month or so. You might be getting some letters, maybe one from Social Security to tell you if you're getting a COLA raise. It's going to be a very small one this year. It was 0.02. I think you'll be lucky if you get $5 in your Social Security check. We've had several years where we got nothing, but this is one of the smallest we have ever had. Now, because the COLA increase is going to be very small, that is going to affect charges for Medicare. If you are paying your Medicare Part B, which is doctors and tests, etc., if your Part B is coming out of your Social Security check, you'll likely get no increase, or if you do get an increase, it will probably go from $104.90 to $107.80, I think. Can't go any higher. Now, last year the government decided to change things. We didn't get a raise, so they didn't raise that $104.90. It's been that for a number of years now. But people who were just joining Medicare, or people who were getting Medicare and not having it taken out of their Social Security check because they weren't yet collecting Social Security, or people who were collecting Social Security and had it coming out of their check, but unfortunately made too much money and were being penalized for being over the limits, were pulled out, and their $104.90 went to $121 a month. Now, those of you in the audience will know who you are if you're paying $121 a month. This year, that $129, and it hasn't been announced yet, but that $129 could go to $149. Yes. So it's possible. They haven't announced how they're going to do it yet, but there is no rule that says they can't raise those that are not being taken out of Social Security. So look for that. That could be the change that you get. There's one thing in Medicare. There is in Medicare Part B, there is a deductible every year. It's an annual deductible. This year, 2016, it has been $166. That usually goes up when we get a COLA increase. If we don't, it doesn't. They're looking at, and again, they haven't announced it, but that 166 may go to 204. Okay? Keep your eye on the newspaper, because that's where we're going to find out. And the government has said they're not sure when they will announce this yet, although we're playing games with our guesses. But they will not announce it yet. They haven't fully decided. I think they're too busy with a few other things. There may be. Okay? I wish I could tell you what they really were. And every year we have been able to up till now. But things just don't go that way. You will certainly get a letter from Social Security in the month of December, which will tell you how much you were paid for 2016. Also, what you paid toward your prescription drugs and your Medicare Part B. That will be the form you need that you will use for your income tax returns. You will also get a letter from Social Security in January telling you what you can expect for next year. Those two come out without any problem. Basically, that's what's there for this year. It's not as complete as usual because we don't have all the information. We will be glad when this meeting is over to answer any questions you have. Okay? Oh, how many have gotten this book in the mail? Okay, keep your hand up if you've started to read it. This book is an expensive book. And one comes out to every household that has a Medicare recipient in it. The book has a lot of information, not money amounts because it's printed way before the monies are decided, but it really has a lot of good information in it. Some questions that come into us in the office could be answered if the client had opened the book and read it. Other questions could have been caused by them reading it, but they're not quite sure what it says, and then we can help them with the rest of that. In addition to this book, there is one other book that I would like to recommend. Well, there are really two books. That if you don't know what you want for birthday or Christmas and your kids or grandkids want to buy you something, send them to the bookstore to buy Medicare for Dummies and Social Security for Dummies. These are two of the best books I have ever read. They write it in English. They write it in such a way that if you have a particular question, they direct you to one single chapter where it's answered, and you don't have to wangle your way through the whole book. So they are very good books to have. Now, before we go to questions, I would like to close this meeting with a little humor, because this is not a very funny subject. Oh, God, I left it home. Hold on. What did I do with it? Oh, I think I can do it. There are two clients who have a problem, and they seem to be the same type of problem. They can't walk too well, and their hips hurt. The first client goes in to see the doctor, gets an appointment the next week, is x-rayed within a week, and has an appointment for hip surgery within the month. The second client tries to make an appointment with the doctor, has to wait, and finally, after several weeks, gets an appointment with the doctor. then has to wait for an x-ray for a couple of weeks, then finally gets a diagnosis and is told that at the end of the year they can have their surgery for the hip. Can you imagine why there is a difference between the two clients? The first client is a golden retriever. I don't know where that went. Okay, I can't answer any questions until the time comes.
Well, thank you, Betty, for another extremely informative session on Medicare. And so appreciate your...
You're welcome.
And with that, I'll close this meeting. We're adjourned.
Okay, does anybody have any questions then? Oh, I gotta wait.